There has never been a series that I have simultaneously felt both tremendous love and unending cynicism more than Pokémon. While I love the mainline games and most of the spin-offs, there is usually always something to complain about right alongside them. At this rate, I'm not sure if it's my unending cynicism towards the Pokémon franchise, but I feel like every major game release as of late has had some kind of headline writing issue. And unfortunately, that stands true with today's topic, Pokémon Unite. Hey everyone, I'm RVRocks, and I typically hate multiplayer online battle arena games, or as you probably know them as, MOBAs. I'm not sure why, but I've always had a large distaste towards the genre, even though I can say for sure that I've only played like a few of them firsthand. I think it's because games like League of Legends have garnered a rather infamous reputation online because of how people sweat the thing so hard, so I've just been put off from the genre as a whole. Although, I do know that these games are really good. They're some of the favorites on the internet, so I concede that my reasoning for disliking League is one that comes down to farcical reasoning. So it was only a matter of time until a game of its style came and grabbed my attention. And some got pretty close. Adventure Time Battle Party got me to sink way more time into it than what was likely intended, and Heroes of the Storm had me pulling out my hair because of Overwatch skins. But come June of 2020, there was a new game announcement that actually had me pretty excited.
Oh, are we looking at a Pokemon MOBA? That's actually really cool. Okay, they have me. If anyone's gonna take me in for a MOBA, it's gonna be fucking Pokemon.
I remember at the time of its announcement, Pokemon Unite kinda flew under the radar, coming off to most as yet another Pokemon side project that would either fail to leave an impression or leave a very long-lasting impression but quickly get swept under the rug. But as you just saw, I was optimistic for a pretty good time and product. As I said back then, and as I'm saying now, if anyone was gonna pull me into a MOBA, it'd be fucking Pokemon. So come the 21st, I was ready to start playing alongside my fellow Pokemon fanboys. And well, did I find myself playing an experience that I just had to have more of? Yes and no. It's complicated. Pokemon Unite, from my understanding, is a boiled-down MOBA compared to its brothers in the space, focusing on more simple mechanics and movesets for its characters. As stated earlier, at best, I'm a noob in the MOBA space, so take this as more of a layman's perspective. An average game of Pokemon Unite typically goes like this. You choose a Pokemon with a team of 4 others and go out into the arena. You fight enemies in the form of NPC Pokemon or other players' Pokemon, leveling up your guy, getting buffs to your damage, and changing up your moveset from one of a few options. If your Pokemon can evolve, they will evolve as they level up. As you defeat these enemy Pokemon, you get points, and in order to score these points, you gotta slam dunk it into the enemy's basketball hoop. Certain more powerful enemy Pokemon can do a few things for you when defeated, like give you buffs, serve as a temporary ally, and remove the time it takes to score in the enemy basket. If you get killed while having these points, you drop some for the enemies to pick up, and vice versa, giving you ample incentive to take on battles. And basically, that's it. Repeat that process and score more than your opposing team. It sounds very simplistic, but it manages to be fun despite that. Every character in the game has a decent amount of variety to them, and the game encourages you to mix it up a little for each match so you don't get bored too easily. You can also equip up to 3 held items on your Pokemon to customize their stats a little bit, so your Venusaur is ever so slightly different than my Venusaur. And alongside all that, you can also get items that buff you in different ways mid-battle. I particularly enjoyed playing as both Charizard and Zeraora with a potion, to save my ass if I ever got overzealous. Charizard can be a damage beast if you give him all physical moves, and Zeraora has this discharge ability which emits lightning all around you, and it's very much a quick and easy way to secure a kill. However, it pains me to say that my favorite Pokemon, Wigglytuff, kinda sucks. I think the whole point of the character is to secure kills using Sing, but I can never get it to work as nicely as I want it to. And using Rollout instead of Sing doesn't really help you much either. As a Smash Bros guy, you think I'd be used to Jigglypuff being trash, and I am, but it doesn't make it hurt any less. Speaking of Rollout, I hate this animation, and the visual presentation of the entire game feels a bit lifeless. Most Pokemon are doing their canned animations that have been around forever now. The standard arena for ranked play is drab and frankly basic, and while the side mode arenas are fun and far more visually interesting, odds are that I won't be playing as many quick matches as I am ranked matches. Even something small like having different skins for the ranked arena would help. Maybe reskin the grunt level NPC Pokemon to be different without changing their properties. It'd be nice. But I'm willing to let the lacking visuals slide because this game is also soon to be out on mobile devices as well. And you don't get games with large player bases by upping the tech barrier of entrance for a good experience. There is a Fortnite tier graphical middle ground here, but I feel like that can't be expected as the norm quite yet. But you know what is expected from a game? Even a free one? UI that actually fucking works. Pokemon Unite's user interface is dog shit, and that never bodes well. I get annoyed waiting for the colors to load in Smash, and this game expects me to wait an extra 10 seconds to realize that yes, I in fact actually pressed the A button. The game itself runs at a consistent 60 FPS from what I can tell, but all of the menus have ridiculous frame drops, as well as failure to recognize inputs at a frankly alarming frequency. I had several moments where the visual tutorials were explaining to me modes and menus that I had already opened and been using for hours prior. And you could excuse all of that because the game itself runs perfectly fine, right? Well, yeah, but there is actually one teeny tiny, very small issue. There's no scoreboard! The entire premise of this game is scoring as frequently as possible. Doing the math in your head isn't going to work with how frequent the scores can be. Oh, but don't worry, the game makes it clear if you are in the lead or losing by screaming at you mid-game, which is such a questionable design choice when just having some kind of score counter would likely be far easier to implement and far less tilting. I've had rounds where it said we were losing most of the game only for us to somehow come out on top. And having the underdog against the odds moments in games like this are typically super awesome, but they're completely robbed from you when you didn't even realize you stood a fighting chance anyways. Especially since the tide of the game can change so quickly. It's impossible to really know if you're actually gonna end up winning until the ending screen. Not having a scoreboard just implements so many problems without having any clear benefits to my monkey gamer brain. So based on what I've said so far, you might be assuming that this is a decent, if flawed, experience. It's free, so you might as well go check it out. And that's true, to an extent. You saw the thumbnail for this video, so you know that I feel the need to speak on something that may go underspoken in this conversation. And that is the prevalence of microtransactions and the scummy tactics that usually come with a free-to-play game. Typically, when logging into a game like this, you can expect a few ways to monetize it, but Pokemon Unite seems to do it in every possible way you can think of. There's limited progression, a battle pass, gacha pulls, cosmetics, and the character unlock formula League of Legends popularized. You get a few characters to start, but must purchase each individual Pokemon, with a few characters in rotation as free choices. But each of these monetization methods are just a little bit more prevalent than you would want them to be. The way they limit your progression is by making it so you can only get 2,100 coins a week from Unite battles. Meaning that to unlock the cheapest characters in the game, you have to spend a minimum of 3 weeks playing. And of course, the cooler, more popular Pokemon picks are the ones that cost more coins. Also, I'm unsure at this moment whether or not you can purchase yourself a direct gameplay advantage, but signs point to yes. You see, the Battle Pass in Pokemon Unite does not only give you cosmetic items, as you'd expect, but rather gives you a lot of these things called item enhancers. In-game, item enhancers serve to improve your held items in battle, meaning that if I pump my items with item enhancers, my items will just be straight up better than your items. To my ears, in a free-to-play game, that already sounds dangerous. But despite this, it could work. Assuming everyone was progressing at similar rates, it would just mean that how you spend these resources would differ. But since you can get more item enhancers from the Battle Pass, as well as randomly from the gacha pull system I mentioned earlier, you can hypothetically have an entirely superior Pokemon. Granted, as time moves on, I am sure we will discover these systems and whatever hidden deviances they may have at play in even more depth. But to my admittedly limited eyes, it spells disaster for the possibility of this game having any competitive life outside of those just willing to pay. And the worst part about all of this is that it starts so good! Purposefully deceiving the player, in the first hour, you get a bunch of new characters and enough coins to buy a new character. But then you just get hit by this truck of a progression roadblock. Getting all the way to level 9 is as quick as day, but going past that, you begin to feel Tencent's claws in your back slowing you down at every opportunity. Oh yeah, did I mention that Tencent is involved? You know, the evil China video game guys? So based on everything that I've said here so far, you could assume that I would dislike this game, or at the very least, be indifferent to it. But in all honesty, I am enjoying every second I put into this game, and I hate it. I kindly throw away money into games like Team Fortress 2 and Fortnite because while they are free games, they keep me routinely invested and enjoying all of the content that their games have to offer. And I feel like I have the same attachment to Pokemon Unite as of right now. But the difference being is that Pokemon Unite feels more deliberately predatory than either of those games listed. Don't worry, I am personally not gonna put any money into this game, but you gotta keep in mind one crucial thing. This game is made for kids. Yeah, as a fully formed 20-year-old fresh out of college with money responsibility formed out of said college, not to mention having played my fair share of video games, I can sense this stuff and avoid it. But the target audience for this game and the Pokemon brand as a whole are younger kids. Also, just because I can avoid it doesn't mean I like seeing it and having to avoid it. So with all of that considered, should you play Pokemon Unite? It's a mixed bag, but I would say yeah. Despite my gripes I listed earlier, it's free and quite literally made for newcomers to the genre. There is no smaller asking price. It's not even that big of a file size on your Switch, and if you don't want to play it on Switch, it'll be available on mobile devices in a few months. However, if you do play Pokemon Unite, just be mindful of the issues this game has with its monetization. After all, we don't want to reward the behavior we so blatantly disapprove of. That would make us hypocrites. But if you approve of the behavior that I am showing on my YouTube channel, then why don't you subscribe to RVRocks and ring the bell? Like this video and comment with your thoughts on Pokemon Unite. I personally will definitely be playing this game at least for a little while longer, and I really haven't seen too much buzz about the game on social media or anything. So please let me know your thoughts either in the comments below or on Twitter at RVRocks. But before you do any of that, I have been RVRocks, and thank you so much for watching. See ya!